Yo, what's up, y'all? It's me, your boy Calvo. I'm here with the homie.
Lance Tom.
Hey, yo, what up, Lance? And today we got another dope episode, another one that's pretty serious. We've been pretty serious lately, bro.
I know, yeah,
Talking
right.
about a lot of, some serious shit, but then also, it's things that need to be talked about. Uh, for this episode and like the BLM episode that we did and our next episode, uh, regardless of what our opinions are and how we feel about things, we thought that the most important part is having the conversation and sparking something, sparking a discussion, getting other people to talk about it or shedding light on an issue. And I think like that's the most important part. You agree?
Oh, definitely, man. I believe that if you talk about it more, you'll feel better about it more a lot. That's our generation. Really, our generation is basically closed. We don't really talk about situations at all like these, mental health and hip hop, Black Lives Matter. So I feel that me and you are, I feel like we want to make a difference in this
Yeah.
world, and what's a better way than through hip hop.
Exactly, exactly. I feel you on that. So, I mean, how you been lately? I know you were going through some shit like a little while ago, and I reached out to you to make sure you're alright. And today,
Yeah.
how do you feel today?
Yeah, it's up and down. Today I felt like I just felt really, really drained out. I don't know why. The reason why is, but sometimes I feel good, sometimes I feel bad. Today I feel better than I was a week ago when shit went down.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I'm thankful for you for sticking with me, for talking to my problems about me, and yeah, I feel good. I feel good about this. What about you? How you feeling today?
I'm pretty good. There's California's on fire again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all the fucking fires, dude, and
Jesus.
it's fucked up because like like my family out of state or some of my out of state homies like I play games with and shit. They'll
Yeah,
be like,
yeah,
"Hey,
yeah.
yo, dude, you okay?" Like I see there's another fire in the Bay Area and everything, and I'm kind of like, "Yeah, it's just another fucking fire." California's been on fire for the past like 4 or 5 years. Ain't shit new, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ain't shit new, but yeah, same old, same old. COVID sucks and everything. But not much you could do. Just I'm thankful I still got a job. I'm still working. Able to pay the bills and everything.
That's
Um,
good. That's all that matters.
yeah, but life's pretty much the same. But I've been listening to, and this is gonna sound weird to like people who are like tuning into this, but I've been listening to a lot more hip hop lately
Mm.
because
As
uh
our podcast is about hip hop.
yeah, but if I would be real, I'm very disconnected with this current generation of hip hop. It's very hard for me to relate with some of these artists, and I would say that started when the whole like SoundCloud era mumble rappers started like
Okay.
becoming super banging. I had a hard
Yeah, yeah,
time
yeah.
really fucking with like Lil Uzi or Lil Yachty or uh, what's the other dude's name? Lil Pump.
Oh, Lil Pump. Yeah.
Yeah, like I had a hard time like relating to these fools and connecting to them. Like, yeah, sure, they make like some club bangers and everything. And if I go out, and I hear a song, it's like, oh, it's lit. But substance
Yeah,
wise,
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't really relate to a lot of these guys. But the music I've been listening to has been old music.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not too much like new music, but I've been listening to a lot of Mike Jones, a lot of Slim Thug. I've been listening to a lot of Gucci. I've been listening to like some old school Wayne. I've been going back and like listening to old Wale mixtapes, old J Cole mixtapes.
Ooh, so you talking about the South pretty much,
Uh,
man. As long as I'm getting
yeah,
to it.
Big Crit. I've been listening to some Big Crit.
Big
Listening to
crit.
like some Ti. I've been listening to a lot of like old like trap, like old Southern,
Mm.
like some dirty South shit, like some old Ti, Jeezy, Jock,
Ooh.
even like some dance music, like D4L and fucking them
Jesus. You
franchise
got Laffy
boys.
Taffy.
Yeah, dude. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
That's what I've been listening to.
Feel
Um,
it.
you any new music you listening to, or old music?
Shit. I've been listening to a lot of Most Def actually a lot lately. Most Def, Traveling Man. That song really hits home because that's actually the song I drove from the Bay Area to Vegas. And I don't know, I
I
love
didn't
that
know
song.
that.
Yeah, I love that song for some reason, man. It's the lyrics, the just the way it flows. I feel like that's my theme song from Bay Area to Vegas, like when I moved out there. A lot more Pop Smoke. Definitely waiting on that Big Sean album to come out. So I'm waiting on that one as well. Um, nah, I've been other than that, just some old shit. You know, not too much new shit, but just going back to my roots.
I
You
feel
know
you.
where I started. You know.
Did we ever talk about like all the controversy that was like kind of behind like that Pop Smoke album and everything, like the album out artwork with the off white dude and how people like weren't really
Oh,
fucking with it and everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude. There's so much
uh,
controversy on that album. And it's kind of sad, but on the other hand, like, I mean, that's just hip hop.
so
You know what I'm saying? There's always gonna be controversy.
you know, since we're on the topic of him, if I'm gonna be 100% honest,
Mhm.
I am not the biggest fan of the album. I think that since it's like a postpartum album,
Yeah.
it's I don't want to say it's getting more praise than it deserves, but I don't see it. I don't think it's as good as everyone makes it out to be. You know, like it's
Gotcha.
good, but everyone says it's like fucking amazing. I think it's good. I
Yeah,
don't think it's fucking amazing. And
yeah.
I didn't even know 50 could produce like that.
Um, Dude, 50 got a lot of shit under his belt that people don't know.
Yo, you
But
think?
I mean, to me, that was I believe that was a dope album. I
Mhm.
believe 50 Cent did an amazing job on it. Um, it was like Pop Smoke got a lot of style from 50 Cent. I mean, that's why probably what I love about it because 50 Cent was like my first CD when I was little. The Get Rich or Die
Get
Trying.
Rich or Die
So
Trying, yo,
yeah,
hardest fucking album.
I think yeah. So I mean, I fell in love with it. I felt like I was like 12 years old again because after hearing Pop Smoke, I'm like, damn, I want to listen to 50 Cent now.
I mean, he sampled, did a lot. There was that one song straight up like the Candy Shop sample, and then I think it
Oh yeah,
had 50 on the hook.
yeah. The Woo,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, also, 50 said he was like his son. He was more of his son than his actual son. I was like, that's some fucked up shit. That will fuck with you know like his actual son's like mental health and everything. It's just like, oh shit, dude. Like you don't even see me like that. That's fucked.
That's a
But
crazy relationship.
good segue into what we were talking about. So for episode 4 tonight, we'll be talking about mental health and hip hop. It's
Yeah,
something that's very important. It's a subject, it's a topic that a lot more people are talking about now. I felt that in the past, it's kind of something that you don't talk about because there's this whole like stigma behind it. The rap game's dominant is male dominated, you know? And
correct.
a lot of the rappers that we grew up listening to, that we look up to, that we love, they come from a certain era. They come from like that like gangsta shit, and you
Yeah.
can't show emotion. You can't show these other people you're weak. That's giving your enemy an advantage over you. That's something that they will use against you. and
Exactly.
and also it's the whole, as a male, you grow up and everyone tells you it's like, guys aren't supposed to cry. You don't talk about your fucking emotions. You fucking suck it up and deal with it. That's what it means to be a man. You put your
Exactly.
head down, you keep trucking on. But it was like an interesting statistic that I saw, and it really shocked me when Lance brought this up. But one of the leading causes of death in 2019 was suicides. Almost
Yep.
100,000 suicides in the U.S. alone. In the U.S., that's fucking crazy.
It's wild, man, because a lot of people don't talk about mental health because they feel that people would judge them so much. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't talk about it and post on Instagram. They don't do this, they don't do that, and they don't get help. And I feel like suicide. It's a crazy thing. Taking your own life because you feel like you're not important in this world or you're not gonna make a difference.
Yeah,
Um,
the thought of like you just existing is like so hard, and feeling that you're a burden to other people. You know.
yeah. I mean, it's a terrible thing. Your mind's a terrible thing to waste.
Mm,
But your mind can also destroy you in a way that you can never come back to it. And if you do come back, that means you have a second chance in life. I believe.
facts.
In hip hop, I believe we don't talk about it because, like Kyle was saying, you have to be masculine in the hip hop game. You have to
Yep.
be a man. You know, you can't show emotion or else to be vulnerable to this. You know, in an interview with Joe Budden with the Grassroots podcast, I don't know why, but I can never forget this question or
Mm-hmm.
this statement. Joe Budden was talking about mental health, and he was getting asked like, "What's it like?" Or like, "Do you think artists are talking about it? Why do people think are they're too scared to talk about it?" And Joe Budden was like, you know, he's just being blunt. Like whoever's gonna admit that they're unfit mentally,
Yeah, like
you know,
no one's gonna admit that they're not okay, you know?
exactly, and that kind of hit my heart. I was like, I mean, that's right. Like who's ever gonna admit the unfit mentally? Because if they admit it, people are gonna look at them funny, look at them crazy.
True.
They're gonna just like judge them hard. You just never know the consequences of you expressing yourself, because in this day and age, you can definitely get destroyed on the online world, Instagram,
Yeah, dude.
Twitter.
And that's like a whole nother thing. I also think that social media is one of the leading causes for person's mental health to decline, you know, to deteriorate because you say, for example, me, you know, like I'm in my late 20s, damn near 30, and I have, you know, I'm always on Instagram and shit, Snapchat and all that, and you kind of see like my friends, my peers, you know, people I grew up with and everything, where they are in life, and then I start comparing myself of, you know, where I'm at in life, and I see this like perfect life depicted on Instagram. And I know it's not like that, but because I see it all the time, right? And it's just like, yo, this person's always on vacation. This person's always doing this, that, they have that, you know? And then like I'm over here like
Yeah,
busting my ass and it's like I don't have this, that, whatever. And then it makes me
yeah,
like envious of them,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And then it's just
yeah, yeah.
like that's not right. You know, like it's I guess it's okay to feel like that, but honestly, it's like you know they worked hard for their shit. They're you know no one posts the fucking grind. No one's showing
No,
you the fucking downs when you know when everything's like where you feel like everything's stacked against you and everything and you know you're just down there and like rock bottom. No one shows that shit. They only show the up, and that could really fuck with the person. You know, once you start comparing yourself to other people.
yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, you hit the right spots, bro. I mean, that's exactly how I feel. You know what I'm saying? But what's keeping me afloat?
Yeah.
Really, music, this podcast.
Hmm.
I mean, this is really what's keeping me insane, like sane. You know what I'm
Same.
saying?
Yeah.
Like
It's your outlet.
it's my outlet, it's my getaway. If I
Yeah.
really want to get away, I just run outside or walk outside, listen to some hip hop music.
Hmm.
Like people don't get that music can save your life. You know,
Oh,
I believe
facts.
music has saved my life so many fucking times. I can't even count how many times. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you can remember the times that were good on music. You can go back. It's like a time machine with hip hop to me. You know, you
It
go
is.
back
It is.
to Get Rich or Die Trying. That's when I was like fucking 12 years old, really fucking with life and just enjoying life.
Yeah.
If you
Mom had
remember
no
808s,
responsibilities.
yeah, if you remember 808s and Heartbreaks, I remember that fucking state. I was in high school, I was taking the PSATs. I was listening to that album right after I finished it, and it was a time like where it was decent. It was cool.
Hmm.
And you go back to Kendrick Lamar's "Good Kid, Mad City." I think like we're about to graduate or something like that, right? Maybe in middle college. But I mean, music has a ways of giving you good memories and bad memories. You
Yeah,
know.
that's true. There's a lot of memories attached to songs, you know, to albums, and if you share that song or you have these memories with people, and maybe you don't fuck with them anymore, maybe it was because you're in a relationship, and that's what made that song so special, and you're no longer in a relationship, whatever. Like all that all that joy that it brought you can also bring you pain and suffering. But I think that's the beauty of music, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
No, definitely.
so
Definitely, man.
I feel like we kind of discussed it in our opening or when we started talking about this, but uh, I'll just ask it again. So why don't we talk about mental health more in hip hop?
I mean, it's a very touchy subject. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people do not like to talk about it.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like I said, like I'm gonna keep repeating over and over because this is the same situation. People would think they're gonna get judged. People think
Yeah.
are nobody gives a fuck or nobody
Mm-hmm.
cares. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody thinks they're important anymore. We don't talk about it in hip hop as well because it's not a masculine thing to talk about. People think that men don't have mental health issues when it comes to hip hop or life in general.
True.
It's just like I said, like Joe Budden said, who would admit that they're unfit, unhealthy?
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
Like,
just.
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, no one's gonna admit that they're mentally unfit or mentally unhealthy, and I I think about it a lot, and I wonder what are the different causes, and then like here in our notes, we have a list of things that we thought were probably some of the biggest contributors to this, and we also have like some artists. I mean, Lance has already talked about Joe. I wanted to talk about like Wale and like Lupe Fiasco, Kanye West. Briefly talk about like Mac Miller, X Tentacion, not DMX, but then
Yeah.
DMX also has issues too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Styles P, Kid
Styles,
Cudi,
Kid
uh,
Cudi.
Wayne, Kendrick, and then there's also like a bunch of songs that have just come out like throughout the history of hip hop that just talk about these sensitive subjects, and I think a lot of times it might get overlooked because it kind of falls into the category of like that conscious rap, and
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't sell or it's not popular. It's you're not gonna listen to conscious rap in the club. You're not gonna shake your ass to fucking conscious rap. You're
Nah,
not gonna fuck to conscious rap.
definitely not.
No, and that's the thing. But so, um, I mean, you've been talking about Joe. You want to talk about it some more? Uh, he's been open about his, mental health. He talks about it a lot. You said he mentioned it in the Grassroots podcast, and he
Yeah,
also
yeah.
has like a couple songs. But
Couple.
there's something here that I saw that you had in the notes, and it's something super small, but it's like super important. It's what's something you can do to like help a person, or how can you help? And
Mm-hmm.
it's something as small as like Joe said, uh, just going and asking someone like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah, that could definitely change somebody's perspective on today's, tomorrow's, the next day, the next year. I mean, asking somebody how you're doing is really the simplest thing you can do.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you really don't know how much it can change somebody's day.
Yeah,
You ask somebody how they're doing because somebody wants just somebody to listen. And that's the simplest thing in the world to do, man. You can, I don't know, it's self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? That's where he goes of where do you see the signs to help and how can you help? You know, you really don't know the signs of what people's going through. That's why sometimes I do watch what I say or watch what I post because you really don't know what somebody's going through. Honestly, you really don't. You don't know anybody's story unless you ask them. That's how I feel. I mean, sometimes somebody's probably going through a death and we don't even know that, or maybe something's happening in their brain, something's happening in their mind, something's happening at work, relationship problems. We don't really know until we ask, "How are you doing?"
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's it, true. And like here, this is something that you that was news to me. I didn't know about this, but XXX Tentacion, Jocelyn Flores, that girl Jocelyn Flores, you
Oh
know.
yeah,
So
that
it's
was
yeah, you can talk about it, a little more
yeah.
than me.
Yeah, that was really cool. So anybody who knows Jocelyn Flores is from the album 17. That album, that song was a girl really about Jocelyn Flores. So the story basically about it is stories about Jocelyn Flores. She flew to CX to model for his clothing line at the time. It was him, Jocelyn, and another model. Both the models got into an argument, and X told them to both leave after finding $6,000 in cash missing, according to the report. Flores then committed suicide in the bathroom of a Hampton Inn in Coconut Creek, Florida, less than 24 hours after X told her she had to go back home to Ohio. And you don't know what she was going through at the time. You don't know, like, if she had family problems or if, like, this was like her big moment and that, things could change for her. Maybe she was going through financial problem. You don't really know,
Mm-hmm.
and her dad got interviewed by the Daily Beast. Wanted to just ask X. Wanted to ask X, how is she doing? Did she get home okay? What did she eat? Did you take her to Universal Studios like you promised her? What is it that you did with her? What was her last day like?
Mm-hmm.
That song came out, the whole story about that. He released that song without her parents, her family
Oh,
knowing.
okay.
Yeah. So the way the family knew was they saw it on the radio station, popped up Jocelyn Flores. That was the daughter's name, of course. And
Mm-hmm.
the family was like, "Whoa, what is this? This is crazy! Like, this is a song about her. We didn't get no like, hi. I would like to use your daughter's name in the song, like to talk about the situation that would happen." But in the end, the family saw like an Instagram account using Flores' likeness has become a conservation hub for young people struggling with mental illness. Something Ramirez is happy to see. So, in the end, basically, it was a really strong song, and if it helped a lot of people, and her family was like, okay, that's totally fine. This is what Jocelyn wanted to do, wanted to help people out. And mostly Jocelyn Flores, the lyrics are really really crazy, because I believe that, I don't know, maybe 80, 85, 90% of the people do feel this way, maybe even less. But the lyrics were like, I'm in pain, want to put 10 shots in my brain. I've been tripping about something, can't change. Pseudo-cell, same time I'm tame. Picture this in bed, get a phone call. Girl that you fuck with killed herself. That was the summer when nobody helped. And ever since then, man, I hate myself, want to fucking end it.
Yeah, dude, like, I feel that with celebrities and famous people in general, artists or whatever,
Mhm.
we kind of hold them on this pedestal, and we think that they are more than human sometimes. They aren't like us, but in reality, they're just like everyone else. They have the same emotions like us. They feel like us. And
Yeah.
like with these lyrics here, it's like, it's like you said, these are thoughts that any person can have. These are thoughts that maybe a lot of people have. And especially dealing with like loss of a loved one, a friend, you know? And
Yeah. I think, these lyrics helps people a lot
mhm,
because not only do they think about it, but they also feel like they're not alone because somebody else is thinking about the same situation. Maybe not the same situation, but those lyrics can really tell people like, okay, you're not alone. Somebody else is feeling like this. 100,000 more people are feeling like the way you're feeling, and it comforts them. It makes them feel like more welcome in the world.
mhm,
You know. Um, yeah,
dude,
I mean, I love the song. I love the song. I
yeah,
definitely loved it. It brought peace in my mind when I was
okay.
listening to it as well too.
I mean, that's good. That's good. Another artist, one of my favorite artists that I've been listening to a lot recently actually is like Wale, and I feel like a lot of people forget about Wale, and every podcast episode that we do, I will always mention Wale, because and I will always mention this time period in hip hop because this is like one of the last eras that I was really in love with. And then
Yeah, yeah.
Wale is one of those people that were blew up same time as Kendrick and J. Cole. If Kendrick was number one, Cole would be two, Wale would be right there at three. And it was like them on this podium. But somewhere along the lines, I felt that, either it was whatever was going on with Wale himself or the
Mm-hmm.
label or whatever, and he kind of just like fell off. He was signed to Maybach at the time, I believe. And I remember hearing Wale on like verse, just like featured on hella different songs. You know, he'd just be on there
Yeah.
for like a verse and everything. You know, like how many fucking like who do you fuck with hella tough? Um Rick Ross of course, but then also
Mm-hmm.
yo dude,
Meek,
I believe huh?
Meek Mill? Is what you talking about?
Yeah, Meek Mill.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, hella shit with like Meek Mill. But, you know, while it suffered from depression and anxiety, and I think the album was it All About Nothing?
Yes. Uh
Yeah,
huh.
when that came out, I think in like 2015. So
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't know, but you know, Wale was going to be a father, and his ex-girlfriend ended up having like a miscarriage, and
Mm-hmm.
that he talks about that. He talked about like how fucked that was, and like how it fucked him, and like he never really was able to recover from that. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I was listening to a not Breakfast Club, 90 Power 97 whatever, the one with
Yeah, yeah.
Ebro and
Oh, okay.
shit. Yeah. Um. Yeah, he was having an interview and he was like just talking about his depression and anxiety, and you know, they were kind of like joking with him about like some of the shit that he was saying. He was talking about just like, damn, how y'all gonna have like leave an open water bottle right here, you know, on the desk? Like that's fucking with me right now. Or like, you know, like you're not treating me like you're A-list celebrities or some shit like that, you know. And then, you know, it was all cracking jokes and everything, and like he's making a joke about it. But then like he dropped this. He said that anxiety is your heart rate going up, your palms are sweaty, and he's talking about how everyone in the room right now is talking really really fast, but they're not, you know. And then that makes him feel nervous, it makes him feel a certain type of way, and then because he feels like that he starts acting a certain way, and because he's acting like however he's acting, he thinks everybody else in the room is thinking about him in like a negative context. You know, they think he's just like, oh, dude, this dude's like twacking out right now or some shit, or you know, he's all like fidgety and stuff, like he can't stay still. But it's like that because of his anxiety, you know, and there's nothing
Yeah.
that he can really do about that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he talks about his depression. He talks about how, you know, depression, it puts your brain in a really weird place. You know, you wake up in the morning thinking that the world hates you for no reason at all, and that, you know, it's just better to kill yourself, to just end it, you know, because at then, you know, it's just like if the world really hates me, if everyone really hates me, then the world would be a better place without me. And he talks
Yeah.
about like that's what depression is for him. That's how he feels when he wakes up in the morning. And a lot of and he also talks about how the thing with mental health is like he doesn't like just that term mental health. He doesn't like how people will call someone like mentally ill. You know, he feels that, you know, you're when you're bringing that up and you're saying that to someone, you're kind of like pushing them down. You know, they're already down, they're already rock bottom, they already know what's going on, but then like you have to like remind them, you know, and then that just puts them in a really bad place. That, you know, that's him talking about like his experience, his case. And he also talks about how can I word this? To me, it felt like he was talking about how a lot of people saying that, you know, they have anxiety or they have depression, they're just saying it just to say it, you know. They really don't
Mm-hmm.
know what it's like, but maybe they're saying it just so that they can get like some sympathy from people, and that's really fucking up for people who like really have these issues, have these problems.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Man, when you mentioned that, when you mentioned Wale having all these problems, bro, it's like I'm the same fucking person. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel every fucking day as well too. Not every day, but like that's how I feel. I feel like the world's against me all the time. I feel like, you know, nobody's like really fucking with me. I feel like I'm alone. And it's crazy. You know, I never knew that much about Wale until you told me all this shit. You know, I mean, I never felt closer to Wale after you told me this shit. You know, it's crazy.
it's 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 here in like some of the topics or subjects that we thought kind of like really deteriorates a person's mental health.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
for him, one of the biggest things was fame.
Hmm.
and just his work and being successful, the pressure of being successful, the pressure of him having this persona of what the label projects him to be, what his fans think he is, and who he really is, and then how, you know, regardless of how real you want to be, how everyone says, want to keep it 100 and everything, right?
Yeah.
There's there's definitely you as the rapper, as the artist, and then there's also you as the person. And then sometimes it's like really hard to break that, you know? Like
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says, like I don't care who the fuck you are. You There's you as the artist and then you as the person, and yeah, you are the same, and people say, it's the same, I'm that 100% of the time. There's no me faking whatever. But once you reach that level of success and that level of fame, you have to be you have to have like this certain persona, and it's difficult to keep up. And he said that a lot of times it's just people being fucking fake,
Hmm.
and
No, I get
because
that.
of that whole fake shit, like it fucks with him.
No, yeah, the labels really don't give a fuck about you. Joe Budden said that also on the Green, what is it? The Green,
The Grassroots podcast.
yeah, Grassroots podcast. Joe Budden was like, the labels don't really give a fuck about you. They don't really care about your mental health. Joe Budden's having problems making albums as well too, and the label's like, nah, you have to be okay by this date, and we have to release by this date.
Hmm.
I mean, that's why a lot of people go really solo because mental health is an important thing in your life. If you are not mentally there, I mean, how are you going to be able to work? How are you going to be able to really give it your all if you're
Hmm.
not all the way there?
No, true facts. And um, there's just there's so much to talk about. There's so many different artists, and another artist I want to talk about that I'm not the biggest fan of, but I know like everyone loves him, and it's Kid Cudi. And
Hmm.
Kid Cudi's been pretty open about his uh, mental health and his battles with depression or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Man on the Moon, man, that really helped me a lot. Soundtrack to my life, and that song. Kid Cudi is really open about his shit. He doesn't really give a fuck. And
Hmm.
a lot of artists say that they saved his life. I mean, Pete Davidson once said on the Breakfast Club, "If you're 25 and under, I believe Kid Cudi saved your life." So Travis Scott. Travis Scott said that in an interview. I believe that Travis Scott has saved my life. If it wasn't for Kid Cudi, there'd be no Travis Scott. Uh, Kid Cudi is one of the artists I truly respect because he speaks his mind. He doesn't. He's not afraid to be real. He's like I think one of the interviews he said, loneliness is the hardest thing you can do that could really destroy you.
Being alone.
Yeah, being alone. Being alone is the hardest thing that can happen to you, and that could, if you think that you're alone all the time, that could really destroy you.
Personal question. You mind if I ask you?
Go ahead.
Like you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but
Go ahead, brother.
do you feel that you being in Vegas, kind of being away from uh, everyone you grew up with, do you think like that really took a toll on your mental health?
Um, I feel in a way it did
Mm-hmm.
because um I just felt like nobody was behind me. Nobody was with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I had people visit me every month, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Very thankful, very loved. But when they go home, I felt alone. I felt like nobody was behind me. Like I feel like all the friendships I made in the Bay Area, they just went out the window when I moved to Vegas. I mean, of course, the real ones
Mm-hmm.
stayed for sure, but it's it just fucks with your mind. When I feel alone, I don't know. I always feel alone, whether or not I have friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just that feeling of just nobody is behind you, nobody gets you, nobody. Everybody thinks you're fucking crazy or a lunatic when you post shit about your mental health or relationships or being alone. Like uh, I believe most of the people I follow, they follow me just to see me fail, to see
Really?
me deteriorate. You know? Yeah.
Shit, you like for real? Damn, dude, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah. I mean,
but like,
it doesn't make sense. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook doesn't make sense. You have 1,000 friends,
mm-hmm,
1,200 friends,
mm-hmm,
and they only say hi to you when it's your birthday, when you accomplish something,
mm-hmm.
or when you fucking, fail. And I feel like people just follow your life just to see you fail. And that kind of takes a toll on your mind too, because you're thinking that way because they feel like they are just watching you from afar. You know what I'm saying? Nobody likes to see anybody succeed. And that's, to me, that's
Really?
facts.
You think so? You don't think people like seeing others succeed?
No, everybody wants to be one up. Because if you look at Instagram, nobody posts about bad shit. Nobody posts about mental health. Nobody posts about what happened in
Mm-hmm,
this world today. You know what I'm saying? They always post the good shit. They always post vacations. They always post big
mm-hmm,
family reunions. They always post this,
mm-hmm.
always post that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to keep a good image on Instagram.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
have this
That's just
perfect life
that,
or whatever.
exactly. I mean, that's how Instagram is. You post a picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
You If you don't get 100 likes within 10 minutes,
Yeah.
you delete that picture. Why? Because nobody's liking it as much anymore. Back then, I'm not gonna lie, back then when I posted pictures, I used to get like 80, 100 likes. Just, it feels good. But now, as I'm posting, it kind of deteriorates your mind, because, like, okay, what happened now? What did I do to not fucking get this many likes, or get somebody say, "Oh, good job, good work, you're doing well for yourself." You know what I'm saying? Like, people talk to you when it's convenient,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? That's why Instagram, Facebook, Twitter does not make sense. And I don't know. I mean, people want to quit Instagram, want to quit Twitter, but they can't. You know why? Because their business is on there. They're fucking, like, they're promoting shit on there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what helps gets their business going.
Yeah.
People, if it people, I know like at least 10 people that want to quit Instagram, but they can't because Instagram is their portfolio on business.
Yeah. I mean,
And
that's. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say. I mean, like that's the world we live in now. Social media controls so many like aspects of our life, and without it, it's like you said, it's very difficult to conduct business right now because, say, if you're up and coming, like for instance, for our podcast, if we didn't have Instagram, if we didn't have Twitter, if we didn't have Facebook, how would we promote our shit? You know, it's
Exactly.
it's not enough to just post the podcast on like YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, or whatever. You need to promote your shit. You need to know how to market. And social media has just become another marketing platform. That's what it is. And in that sense, like I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I can see a lot of issues that it can have. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So, what do you think are some of like the leading causes for a person's mental health to deteriorate? You personally, I mean, I know what we have on the list, but like, out of everything that you see on the list, what's something that you think like really just fucks with a person?
Uh, Relationships,
Mm-hmm.
family. This is my opinion.
Uh-huh.
Family, thought of being alone.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three main things I believe that could fuck up somebody's mental health.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, relationships. I've been through so many relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to two, like, real ones, but you know
Mm-hmm.
how that goes. I mean, when I was in relationships, I didn't really love myself. And that's what fucked me up, because I'm in a relationship trying to give it all
Mm-hmm.
to this one chick.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even love myself, because when I'm in relationships, I'm always insecure about how I look.
Mm-hmm.
If she's gonna love me back, if she's gonna cheat on me, if she's gonna do
Mm-hmm.
this, do that. I really wasn't loving myself, and I put these two girls into a relationship that I didn't even care. I didn't even give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Did I really love them? Not really. Did I really care about staying with them? No, because I wasn't taking care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just relationships can kill you because you can give it your all at all times. You know what I'm saying? You can do the most to this one person that you love. You think you're gonna be together forever, but in reality, like, is it gonna benefit you? Is it gonna help you? Are they helping you with your mental health? Can I talk about mental health with them? I mean, I hid my shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
I hid it through relationships. Like I didn't tell nobody. I didn't really explain it to them because I don't think they get me. They probably think I'm like fucking crazy, or they're end my relationship fast or early, and
No,
it sucks. You
I
know?
get that. I get that. I mean, it kind of goes back to like the whole stigmatism behind it, you know? Like, just as males, we're not supposed to talk about that shit, you know? Even though, whoever our significant other is, our girlfriend, our wife, whatever, um, boyfriend, like, you're supposed to be able to open up to these people. You're supposed to be able to talk about what's eating up at you inside. But then also at the same time, it's like you said, like, at the time you were in these relationships, like, you didn't really love yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Just want to say, yeah. You just have to really before you get in a relationship, you always got to think about yourself first.
Exactly. And
Because
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, because if you don't love yourself, man, you're just destroying yourself. Because really, like, not a lot of people know this, but relationships can fucking fuck you up for a long, long time. I remember my last breakup. I wasn't well for at least a year and a half, bro. It takes time because you think that one person's the love of your life for the rest of your life, but in reality, they're not, and it sucks. And then it gives you more thought, like, oh, will anybody love me again? Will I be the same love if I'm with a different person? And it really brings your insecurity down because I mean, you don't know if you're gonna find that one person ever again. Are you gonna die alone? Are you gonna date anymore? You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on you
Yeah.
and how you really persuade things, you know?
Oh, facts. Yeah, going off on that, I agree with everything you said. I always tell everyone, there's this particular person that I know that kind of jumps into relationships a lot right after getting out of a relationship. And I think
Mhm.
it's because they've been in a relationship for so long, they don't know how to be alone.
Yeah.
They've been in a relationship since like they were in high school all the way until now. That's like 10 years, 10 plus years,
Yeah.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
15 years, whatever. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like you don't know how to exist without this other person because there's so much of your life dependent on this other person. You ended up developing these like codependency issues. You don't know how to do certain things for yourself. You don't know how to act without them, whatever. And a lot of that comes back to you. There's a lot of work that you as an individual has to do. You I don't think I don't think you can go into a relationship without having baggage. Everyone has baggage, but it depends like how heavy that baggage is, and what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important part is going in a relationship, one, you have to respect yourself, you have to love yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then two, you also can't, whatever baggage you're bringing, you can't unload that on whoever you're with. You can't expect them to fix your problems. If you're getting into a relationship thinking it's going to fix your problems, you're just going to fuck yourself up, fam. And then that's just going to put
Mm-hmm.
you in like a worse mood and like make it worse.
Yeah. Um, shit. Your mind can get destroyed within seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you do the wrong decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
You always have to think about yourself.
Yeah.
It sounds selfish, but if I guess, like we said, man, you gotta love yourself before you do any of this shit, you know,
Mm,
or
true.
else it's not really worth it, you know.
Yeah. And then there's you mentioned family. An artist that we both love has, I don't want to say a dysfunctional family, but they got issues. And
Yeah.
then that's Ye. And
Kanye
then
West.
on Ye's album, the self-titled album, Ye, uh, his very first song is like, "I thought about killing you," and I thought that that's some intense shit, dude, for your very first track. But
Mm,
you know, Ye as a person, he got issues. Everyone knows he's bipolar. He has some mental health issues, and it probably all stems from his mother passing away in like 2007, 2008.
yeah.
Or that's
Yep.
what
Yep.
a lot of people, sorry, speculate. And in this album, he kind of just airs everything out. He talks about his, his own mental health, like his mental strength, the different forms of love, how he's not letting other people get to him. He talks about his dark thoughts throughout the whole album, through little, either through like the hooks or like whatever his verses are, kind of talking about the struggle with like suicide, or how suicide was, uh, how he thought about suicide.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
saying that, like, how, and like all of this, like, I thought it was great because this whole album sounded like a conversation he was having with himself. It was Kanye
mm,
having a conversation with the other Kanye, and the other Kanye is either the real Kanye or the bipolar side of Kanye, and they're both
mm.
just going at it.
Get you. I get you. I didn't know. I didn't look at it that way. That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's it's that album is actually one of my favorite Ye albums. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but it hit close to home because, uh, I know someone that's very close to me that's dealing with a lot of mental health issues. They have a lot of like mental illnesses as well, and one of them is being bipolar. So it's very difficult to communicate with the person who's bipolar because you talk to them right now and like everything's all good, and then like in an hour, all of a sudden a fat ass mood swing, and it's just like, yo, dude, like where did this come from? Like you're coming at me with this shit for no reason, and then you definitely feel a certain type of way, and then it's like you have to remember, it's like this person, they can't help it. It's their brain's just wired a certain way, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, sticking with Ye. Ye is my favorite artist of all time. Everybody knows this.
Hmm.
Kyle knows this. Everybody that knows me knows this.
Hmm.
And the reason why I really like fuck with him and I really, really relate to him a lot is because I feel the same way as him. I feel like every album that dropped was really all about me in a way. Like it dropped right on time. Every time I felt like depressed or fucking fucked up, or I felt like I could rule the world. Like I don't know. I fuck with Kanye a lot. A lot of people talk down on him, think he's crazy, and when people, I feel crazy to talk about. But when people say that he's crazy, I feel like they're telling me I'm crazy.
Oh,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Because
it's so relatable.
yeah, because that's just how I feel. Like
Hmm.
whatever Kanye West is tweeting, that's exactly how I feel. I feel like I feel like I lost a brother, and that's what Ye did with Jay-Z. I feel like my family is dysfunctional and we don't get along too well, and that's how I feel as well too.
Hmm.
I feel like I feel like a crazy death that happened in his life is the same way as my life because I lost my uncle, and that was like the closest family I ever had,
Hmm.
and that fucked me up, so much. So I feel like Kanye West is a definition of me.
Hmm.
That's how I really feel. Every album that came out, like the whole Three Bear thing. I was in high school, um, pretty much living my life. That's how Kanye West felt.
Hmm.
808s and the Heartbreaks came out. I mean, I had a breakup right there and then, 2008. I mean, you have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's when I made like my Be Humble shit.
Hmm.
I felt like that was a masterpiece for me, and that was his masterpiece. I mean, you had Yeezus that came out when EDC was coming out, when all the rave shit was coming out.
Yeah.
And that was my hyphiest moment because I used to go to raves like every fucking month.
Hmm.
Um, you had my life, like the life of Pablo. The life of Pablo was like probably the dopest time because that was the dopest out. That was the dopest time of my life.
Okay.
The Yay came out when I first moved in Vegas in
Hmm.
I believe May 2018. or June, I believe, and that's the time where I felt the most depressed because I was away from home. And when Jesus is King came out, I felt great because it was like a rebirth. It was like a reborn,
Mm-hmm.
and not a lot of people really get why I like Kanye,
Okay.
because he's crazy. He says all this other shit. I'm crazy. I say all this crazy ass shit. I post things on Twitter, on Instagram, just speak my mind. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about Kanye West, is because he speaks about mental health so much, and he speaks his mind. He doesn't give a fuck what anybody says, because at the end of the day, he really needs the help.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people do too as well. I need help as well. I'm not afraid to admit it as well. It's yeah, I mean, that's my whole rant about Kanye West, but I mean, that's
No,
that's
dude.
just really how I
Some
feel.
real shit. I mean, say how you feel. You feel the same as what. If you feel the same as Ye, then you feel the same as Ye. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Um. Uh. Something else that I think also really affects a person's mental health is drug use, substance abuse in general. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have to be like hardcore drugs, whatever you want to define as hardcore drugs. It could just be something that's super accepted, like weed or alcohol,
Yes,
being the
sir.
most two tame ones. And I I think of like you think of rappers like, I mean, Royce the 5'9", one of your favorite rappers, how he struggled with alcohol, how he was like killing a whole bottle of vodka, Grey Goose vodka, or killing a whole bottle of tequila right
It's
before
crazy.
he gets on to perform, one of his sets. It's
Yeah. That's wild, man. When people, like, artists do that, like, when artists do that, man, I feel like they don't have anybody to talk to about their problems or situations right there and then. So they turn to drugs and alcohol for, like, uh, I don't know, a breather. It's weird. It's weird to say that.
it,
You know.
it's like an escape. It's a form of
Yeah.
escape, and also it's it's a compounding problem. It's so I feel that everything that we talked about, relationships, work, family, thought of being alone, success, fame, all those things kind of lead you to like, you need something to like kind of relieve the stress a little bit to help you kind of get through this. You need to just kind of, a little something to take the edge off. And then
Yeah.
it could just start with alcohol. Usually just starts with alcohol. And then you move on. Maybe it's like weed, and then from there you might doing like some harder things. But then also, you know, addiction is also very real, and that's a whole nother topic. But you think of you think of like these other rappers, these other artists like Juice World. Juice World could have been alive, if he didn't feel the need that like he had to take all those substances that he took to hide it from the cops. When they were
Yeah.
searching his plane, I think that was what happened.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
yeah, that's definitely what happened.
and then you also have Mac Miller, who was battling
Mm-hmm.
substance addiction, and his mental health deteriorated where he felt like he just had to do these things, and then it goes hand in hand, the addiction plus whatever, wherever your mental state is, the thought of being alone, not having anyone. I don't know if like that was the reason, but it just, these things, like, uh, it's unfortunate, and I think that's also like one of the leading causes. And you also think about the current generation of rappers that are kind of like glorifying drug use and everything, and then you see like how like fucked up in the head they become. And
Yeah.
I don't want to put the blame slowly on like the previous generation, but you got to remember we grew up listening to music that made selling drugs cool, you know?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
the era of music where like we grew up in like our most influential years, from like middle school, high school, and like college, it was all about that party life. It was about going out there and doing like the craziest shit and everything. And then that made doing drugs cool. I mean, you think of like Lil Wayne. How much fucking lean did the guy drink, dude? And like how fucked up did that make him?
Too fucked up.
It's it's something I think about a lot. And I'm not saying like I can't sit here and pretend to be like fucking perfect, like I've never done anything. But there's doing things in moderation. They're doing things to like try things. You look at like DMX too. DMX was addicted to crack. That's crazy. A rapper. How much fucking money has he made in his life? But then like the dude's smoking crack.
Yeah, yeah. It's a crazy world. You know what I'm saying? Like even like shit that uh that like sets you off. It's like Lupe Fiasco's story.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know Lupe Fiasco was supposed to make the Nothing on You song about that was supposed to be his song. But critics say that it sucked. He didn't sound too good. He didn't really sound right. And then Nothing on You was gave to B.O.B. No one hit. And at times that Lupe Fiasco wanted to commit suicide because of that shit.
And
Um,
that goes with like the topic who we were kind of talking about with like work and everything. That's your livelihood and everything. And for your label to tell you that you aren't dope and to give it to someone else who like, I don't want to diss B.O.B., but like B.O.B. ain't no Lupe.
Definitely not.
In my opinion, he's not a Lupe.
Yeah.
Not in the same category.
No, definitely not. But yeah, I mean, drugs, work, success, fame, all fall into that category.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, work can kill you. Work can make you miserable. Work
It definitely
can
can.
fuck you up. If you don't love what you do, you're
Mm-hmm.
fucking up your whole mindset.
Yeah.
And like success and like fame. Like, I want to be successful. You want to
Mm-hmm.
be successful, of course, right? Everybody wants to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
What really fucks you up when succeeding is the grind.
Mm-hmm.
Because the grind would you feel like you're not succeeding because the grind is taking too fucking long, or
Mm-hmm.
nobody is like really helping you out promote your shit. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't cost $1 million to promote shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna be real. When we post about our podcast and nobody really shows love, but I show love to them all the time, it fucks with my mind
Mm-hmm.
because you're like, what the fuck did I do? You know what I'm saying? You didn't pay me $100 to post your shit. I reposted your shit because you're my friend. And I feel like me promoting your shit, you help me out, I help you out. And it sounds kind of selfish in a way, but I love this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I love talking about music. I love talking about everything on this podcast. I love doing it with you, bro. And that's the passion I have for it. And it just fucks with me in some sort of way that nobody really wants me to succeed. I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know. that
Dude, no, I agree with you because like you think about like supporting a friend that has a business, right? Like
yeah.
say they're into clothing and they make some dope shit. Maybe it's not your style, whatever, but like that's the homie. You should still show some support and love. You need t-shirts, whatever. What's $25? What's $30? That you're spending on someone that's helping them grow, helping them be successful, versus like you going out there and spending like $50 on like a fucking Supreme shirt.
exactly.
It's I think about that all the time, and I was just like, dude, no one really wants to, or I didn't say want to, but like, no one really supports someone until they make it big. And when they make it big and they're famous and, their shit's popping, then everyone wants to be there and pretend to be like, yeah, I was there day one supporting you. Like, no, you weren't, fam. I
exactly.
couldn't even give you free shit.
Exactly. So I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It is heartbreaking when nobody really shows love. Like when Be Humble came out, I'm not gonna lie, everybody supported me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody bought my shit, and it felt good. It feels good for have somebody to support you, right?
Yeah.
And we fast forward to 8 years now, I can't even get a one repost. Like the same friends that supported me back then are
Mm-hmm.
not supporting me now, and that it fucks your head. It kind of sees that. Do you have a purpose in life? Do you think are you gonna make it? Are you gonna fucking be who you want to be in the future? Like, why is nobody showing me love anymore? Did I do something wrong? Did I fucking say something wrong to somebody? Did I do something wrong? Did I post something wrong? See, those are the questions that you see and that you hear all the time. That is what you think. That's what I think every day. You know what I'm saying? That really fucks up your mental health.
Yeah.
That's really what goes on in people's lives sometimes. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be liked for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you don't have the same love as back then,
Mm-hmm.
you always wonder, like, does everybody think I'm crazy? Does everybody not want me to make it? Does everybody feel like that I'm not important? You know what I'm saying? It sounds selfish, but in a way, you know, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I feel like these artists, these hip hop artists, feel the exact same way. You know, why are people not reposting my music? Why is this person getting more fame than me? And I'm working harder. Why are the day ones not fucking with me on this? Why does people assume I'm fucking crazy is because I'm talking about my mental health? You know, like, why do I not sound good on this song? Because this is my fucking song. You know, I made this song. Why does you have to put another artist onto the song to make it better? You know, what if the Lupe song was better than B.O.B song? You know, we don't know because you know the media, Instagram, internet will shut you down fast, quickness. You know.
True. Yeah, dude. Like, we wanted to have this talk about mental health and everything, and we just wanted to share our opinions and insight. Uh, like I mentioned earlier with like Lance, you know, like I know that you went through some shit not too long ago, and I felt that, you know, this episode is really like, you know, catered to you, you know, helping you kind of like vent out a little bit, you know, say your piece with everything, you know. And like with that, it's like, before we close, like, do you feel good? You feel a little better? You felt like you got some shit off the chest that, you know, you wanted to get out but you couldn't?
Yeah. I definitely feel better. I definitely feel great about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, and people talk about this a lot, or like suicide. It's just talked about it this year, last year, year
Mm-hmm.
before that. You know, suicide's been around for like the last 3 decades.
Yeah,
There's a couple songs. There's definitely a couple songs that have been played in suicide. Well, I'm like the Ghetto Boys, "Mind
Mm-hmm.
Playing Tricks on Me." That came out July 1st, 1991.
Mm-hmm.
Lyrics goes, "I often drift when I drive, having fatal thoughts of suicide. Bang, get it over with, and then I'm worry free." Well, that's bullshit. And that's in 1991, man. You have Nas's "Drunk by Myself," September 22nd, 2003. Steering window in my hand, trying to hold it steady. Anything in my way is dead, cause that's the way I feel I am already. Suicide Thoughts by Biggie Smalls. I just really wanted to talk about this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Came out September 13, 1994.
Mm-hmm.
Suicidal Thoughts is a song about Biggie wanting to commit suicide because all the shit that's been happening. He calls up Diddy, you know, like 3, 4 in the morning, basically telling Diddy, you know, fuck it, I want to go to hell because I'm a piece of shit. It ain't hard to fucking tell. Like those lyrics in those songs, that's how normally people feel. And the way Diddy's responding, if you haven't heard that song, the way Diddy's responding is how people usually respond
It's like a
to
phone
what.
call, right? And then he calls
Yeah,
and it's like talking into an answering machine.
it's basically like fucking. That's the way it feels because you don't know what to do. The other person doesn't know what to do, what to say. If it's saying it right, why does he feel this way? How come you tell me this in the morning now? Like, "Suicide Thoughts" is one of my favorite Biggie songs. You know, it's an underrated song, but I feel that that's a perfect song of how people with mental health issues are feeling most of the time. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the song, you can hear Biggie shooting himself in the head. And, prior to it, that's when his death as well. Prior to that album, you know, and it's crazy. It feels like that Biggie, even the most like famous rappers, have a lot of issues,
Yeah,
a
dude.
lot of like crazy ass issues that nobody knows about. You know?
It goes back to like how people like us, regular people, kind of hold these artists, these famous people on this pedestal. We think that, you know, you can't fucking touch them. Like they don't gotta deal with the shit that we're dealing with because they got money. They got money and they're
Exactly.
famous, you know. And then it's like it's not like that, you know. Like you said it best, man. More money, more problems. You know,
Exactly.
like some real shit.
But to
Uh,
come to your question, do I feel better about talking about? Yes, I do feel better. I feel
mhm,
like I want to help people with
mhm,
this. You know, I want to know that people. I want to tell people that I'm feeling the same way as other people. You know, um, I really think that Instagram is killing our brains because everybody posts the good shit and not the bad shit. I deleted all my pictures off my Instagram because I mean, there's not much good to really post. You know what I'm saying? All those back then photos and everything. Like I really didn't. I don't see myself as the same person anymore.
mhm,
I wanted to make it clear, clean slate, clean start.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I feel good. I'm not afraid to tell anybody that I am crazy and that I have mental health issues. You know, because that's who I am.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, that's why I don't bring back Be Humble or anything else that's cluing to that because I wasn't the same guy. I'm not the same guy I was 8 years ago. I'm a
I
different
feel
whole person, you know?
yeah. No, I feel that, and
But
that's good. You know, sorry to interrupt, but like, you know, you should never be afraid of the person that you are. You should never be afraid of these problems. You should never be afraid to talk about these things. You shouldn't be afraid to reach out to people, you know? And it's like, I know it's easier said than done because, like we said, a lot of cases with like everyone here, it's hard to talk about these things because, you know, one, you feel that you're just being a burden to other people, right?
mhm.
But, you know, it's the real ones, the people that are like your real friends, like they'll be there for you, and then they'll also be able to tell like when you're not okay. And if they reach out to you, you know, be honest with them, you know, be honest with yourself, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's all we can do. Just be honest with ourselves. Talk about it more.
And
Reach out to somebody. You know, like we said in the beginning, ask somebody how was your day.
yeah,
Random person.
yeah,
You could do that. You know, a random friend that you haven't talked to in a long time.
mm-hmm,
You saw their Instagram story, asking how they're doing. You know what I'm saying? At one point in your life, that person was special to you. That
mm-hmm,
person was close to you. You know what I'm saying? So if you ever reunite that friendship, or you know, you're probably saving a life. To be honest, you know.
yeah. You know, and then it's also like a big thing now that a lot of people say, you know, like give give people their flowers while they're still here.
Definitely,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely, definitely.
And with that, guys, I think we'll end it. Want to thank everyone that tuned in or is gonna listen. Uh, Hit us up on our social medias. You could follow our Twitch at the Cool and Calm Podcast, YouTube at It's Vovo, or find me on Instagram at Sensei Vo. Where can we find you, Lance?
At Dizlance on Instagram and at B-Boy Silence on Twitter.
Yep, yep. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.